and welcome to my podcast number 3. This week I'd like to talk a little bit about self-organization, productivity, discipline, with regards work, personal life, with regards the time that you are allotted each day and what you do with it and how much energy you put into your actions and how lazy you are, I suppose, or how tired you are. What are your energy levels? As an artist, I feel the guilt of not having enough or more or higher quality work and of not having a coherent path to getting higher quality work. I read a book by Simon Callow about his acting experience, and more often than not, he was working. It was very challenging for him, but he was working. And that's not something that is my experience. More often than not, I'm not working. So what does that say about me? Am I a mediocre artist? Am I a lazy person? When I don't have a coherent sense of work towards getting work, if you worry that you don't have a coherent enough strategy for getting work, or are confused by the myriad ways in which people seem to get work in arbitrary ways in what is a very nebulous career path, then what do you take as your foundation upon which to build the rest of your strategy? If it feels so arbitrary, and if objectively it is arbitrary, upon what do you base your sense of discipline? What is the material upon which you build your strategy? If it's a database of names and email addresses, that's fine. If you are to send them a standard email each with some level of personal appeal to each particular individual, what are you expecting from that? For instance, I've always had an issue with sending letters or emails to potential casting directors or employers. The very few responses I've received, of which a fraction show any level of interest, of whom that fraction offer a meeting or work itself, it feels pointless to go to all of that effort for that very little response. It's very disheartening. So what do you do with that? What do you do with that experience? I find it personally a real challenge being able to harness and marshal that energy and motivation into a vision and into productive work. Plus, the very motivational sense of guilt from not feeling like I'm getting the results that I want and blaming myself. How objective is that? Blaming oneself for frustrations. I wonder. I think there's a train of thought in psychology that supports the idea of it's all down to you. And obviously in the motivational world, there's a whole sort of religious philosophy, which is it's all down to you. You create everything, and the flip side is it's your fault if you're in a miserable or painful or frustrating situation. And I think that's a really problematic philosophy. It only supports the status quo, really. I don't think it encourages change. I think change has to come from compassion and a sense of earnest desire to learn and to improve your habits. This takes you from the realm of business practice and what it is to be valued as an artist to philosophy. What is your life purpose? Are you fulfilling it? How do you sustain that sense of self-leadership and self-motivation indefinitely through what is a challenging time and a challenging career path? Some of that, I suspect, is down to connecting with a community of people who care about you and who seek to inform you and who you seek to inform about how to proceed? This is a valid question, and it's an open question which I leave for you listeners to ponder over. There's a very positive case to be made for self-motivation and discipline, but I think it's a question of having a real sense of what you are working with. And the murkier the environment, the more difficult it is. Obviously, it's different depending on the career path you choose, but for artists, it seems at the moment to be quite an unclear time. And psychologically, I think the effects are felt by many people. Let me know your thoughts.